Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. With the main story completed, it is now time to head back to what was hinted at before by Master Fortuno and complete the third and final wing of the Pandemonium storyline. Eater of Souls. Now that looks interesting. Ah, Coda. Had a feeling you would arrive soon. Urgent tidings always seem to carry you in the work after all, and Master Fortuno recently sent out word regarding this investigation. It seems he's uncovered information regarding Professor Claudian's whereabouts and the sudden appearance of pandemonium in the ethereal sea. We would do well to meet with him at once. If you have no objections, I ask you to proceed to the telescope. Forthwith, I shall make the necessary arrangements and join you shortly. Oh, that was going to lead me directly into a cutscene, but whatever. Now, as a warning, I do in fact have DPSQ problems, so don't be surprised if I end up doing the Laporet crafting quests in between here and there. Ah, I see, I can't fly in here. The telescope is all the way over here, so it shouldn't be too bad. Time to proceed inside. Oh, this is the dungeon. Yeah, this is where we had to go before in order to go deeper within. But, they seem to have blocked this way off, almost as if it's dangerous. Yep, that's Pandemonium, alright. Ah, Master Fortuno. Sorry for delaying this till this main story was done, but, yeah. Thank you for answering us with haste. Let's forego formalities, jump straight to the heart of the matter. Well, I appreciate it. Namely, the whereabouts of Professor Claudian, who has not been the same since his ill-advised journey to his law. A subsequent expedition discovered an airship in the vicinity of the Etherochemical Research Facility. Dang, that was a dungeon all the way back in Heaven's Ward. Guess it must be feeling nostalgic. Although the vessel clearly belonged to the professor, himself was nowhere to be found. And there were signs that someone, perhaps the man himself, had forced their way into the facility. So this trail was duly followed. However, the trail led nowhere, in the most literal sense. It wasn't as if an entire sector of the facility had been wrestled from existence. And how could that place just disappear? Further investigation confirmed the expedition party's suspicions. Neon, an entire sector of Azizlaw, has been teleported elsewhere. Teleported to where? We believe that its destination was none other than the Ethereal Sea. Here were its Allegan facilities reconstituted as the halls of Pandemonium. To great success, as you can see. This means Professor Claudian's there? In the monstrous fortress? That is our leading theory. We are certain enough, though, to risk sending you into its depths. We're certain enough, though, to at least to risk sending you into its depths in search of a missing man. That should be worth a look then, I guess. Yeah, before we do, there's another pressing matter. While Pandemonium may appear firmly sealed, an unknown entity was recently spied crawling forth from its gates. We observed its behavior with the telescope, and to our horror witnessed it gorging upon the surrounding ether like a ravenous beast. What? Then it must be stopped! The ethereal sea harbors souls of the departed, tills the wellspring from which all creatures are born. If its flow is disturbed, life itself could cease to be. Precisely. Its safety must be our first priority. Rid us of this mess, Coda, then we'll be at liberty to investigate what wicked machinations are afoot. Its memory crystal was recovered from Claudian's airship. Take it with you. This memory crystal was taken. It may provide some insight into the enigma of Pandemonium. I was wondering why it felt like Pandemonium wrapped itself up in the last one. I guess that means the past story's done, but the present still has to go. Without Themis, there'll be no army of phantasm warriors. I realize you're more than capable of combat. Are you sure you'll be alright? Yes, I am. Themis isn't the only one who can summon our illusory allies. He is? Why, of course, I should have known someone of your talents would master even ancient arcane arts. Apologize for my failure of imagination. Well, I had some help. Once we're free to the looming specter of Pandemonium, you must promise you to share your knowledge for the sake of thorough reports, of course. In the meanwhile, I shall focus my efforts on providing you with what information support I can. I shall gather researchers from the confluence and construct a means to convey you to your destination. The rest is in your hands. Anabaseios, the Ninth Circle, is now available. Yeah, the reason Themis had to summon illusory allies is because, well, it's to get around the thing we already had. As we've been using the Stone of Azem to summon allies against Golbez and the other trial fights, but that only works because, well, the worlds are split here, so I can use it to call other heroes from other realms over to me. Or at least that's the lore reason for it. However, that obviously doesn't work in the past because the world is not yet sundered there, which means, by extension, the Stone of Azem can't pull from those sources. So we need to wait another way to get our allies teleported. At this step, the ethereal sea itself poses a little danger, but we know what else awaits you. I shall monitor your health from a distance, and we might leap to your age should crisis be at hand. In truth, my days are stuffed to the brim, what with all the record-taking and document fetching, but worry not, the knowledge of the realm's survival hinges... The realm's survival hinges on my effort, sustains me. Anabaseios. I should probably look at what Anabaseios is, because Abyssos and Asphodelos are all from terms from the Greek underworld. Which fits, because the ancients all have a Greek theming to their naming conventions. Something that also seems to be the case for a number of the for a number of other things, because, you know, Greek mythology is very popular. But in particular, yeah. But Anabaseios, what is that? Oh, somebody already asked what the meaning of the new raids. Here's name. Okay, I might as well figure I might as well look this up real quick. Let's see here. The base word just means a going or marching up, which is a bit different. Ah, some literaries here are mentioning this. Let's see. A catabasis is a journey through the underworld, such as Ulysses in the Odyssey. An anabasis, animating upwards, the opposite journey towards heavens, but kind of tale is what the person a person experienced with Greek terms mentions here in this thread. Obviously, this is the internet, so take it with a grain of salt. Some think it's a pun on both hero rising up after the catabasis, as well as the equivalent of charging ahead or initiating attack in military terms. Alright, so there's a few theories as to how this all works. Interesting. I imagine the weekly lockout might still be active here, so I'll need to be careful. But if not, that'll also be fine. Interesting, though. So we completed the Pandemonium of the past, and we're now in the present time. But it looks quite remarkably similar. Oh yeah, the whole reason this started was because Pandemonium strangely started showing up in the Ethereal Sea, and so they asked us to go to the past in order to figure out what's going on, and there we help Themis, well, I think it's Elidibus before he was Elidibus, if we're blunt, but yeah. Hooper's Hold. Yeah. While we were doing these quests, we found out a lot of Laporets aren't sure about their purpose, since their entire reason for existence was to save humanity from the final boss, from the Endsinger. But now that we've saved the existence, and it will no longer be destroyed, well, they don't... A lot of them feel bereft of purpose. And as we learned last time, some of them would think it's a good time to, go back into their stasis pods until they're needed again, while others want to stick around. Oh. Granted, I wasn't quite expecting a disco location, but... Well, I guess Final Fantasy's always been kind of, what's the term? When it's never really had a consistent, It's always been kind of all over the place in terms of time. Stuff from what time stuff does. I won't sit here and say they don't explain it. They even explain the Mirror Ball was inspired of the planet. Hey, Soul Leader, buddy. Gonna have to ask you to stop doing that. You're being kind of an asshole and it's hurting the cycle and natural order things. Probably wouldn't be a good idea to let you keep it up, so we're gonna kick your ass.
My feast must not end. My feast must not be interrupted.
Kokitos, mythic creation. Alright. There's no other Reaper here, right? Crap, I had... Mage's Lament. Just Interesting. The name is listed as Mage's Lament. I'm sure that is not going to turn out to be. Global spell. That sounds like a party-wide AoE. Yep, it was. Hmm. Martialist Lament. Interesting. Is this thing a hive mind? Ah, I see. That was probably a bit more dangerous, but... Well, just one vulnerability is usually not too bad, but if I keep making mistakes, it'll become impossible to survive the raid-wide damage. Crap, I already used up the thing there. Crap, I guess I waited too long. Ecliptic Meteor. Well. Well, that's what I get. Oh, that's what I get. It's always just more. Yeah, I swear it. That's a. It's always just one more GCD, just one more.
My darlings.
And there we are. Well, it did say it doesn't kill it since that's its curse. Let's see here. Yep, it's got a lockout. That's fine. Reservoir Coda, the memories of your tenacity were not embellished in the slightest. Who are you? Do not be alarmed. A proper introduction shall set your mind at ease. I am Athena, chief keyword of Pandemonium, wife to Labrea, mother of Erchthonios. It is I who made Pandemonium anew in the underworld. In matter of speaking, I am the source of all your recent troubles. Okay, how's that supposed to put my mind at ease or whatever you said? I must say, I did not imagine I would meet you in this age. A slight miscalculation, but perhaps a fortunate one. Your deeds in the past have left quite the impression on me. So you were back there? I understand you have reason to be wary, but I assure you there is no need. I know not what La Habrea has told you of me, but all that I've done out of sincere scientific curiosity. Now, you see, that has a lot of blatant things missing to it. Because you could justify a lot of things, you can make a lot of things sound a lot more reasonable as long as you leave out what you're doing or what it's what costs. That appetite yet remains even after my rebirth. Conflict is the furthest thing from my mind, and I ask that you at least hear me out before brandishing your weapon. I don't know, the guy split his brain in half just to avoid remembering you. Well, yeah, we know he has. We know she's got Claudian. We know she has no intention of research. I mean, that was very obvious because again, La Habrea split his brain in half specifically to avoid having to deal with the memories. So let's just ask the more relevant. So you're telling me you've been reborn? In a sense, yes. 'Twas the only way I could see my research completed. The myriad souls floating across the ethereal sea provide all the raw material I could acquire, and your Professor Claudian proved a most welcome surprise. Worry not, for I treat my tools with care, especially those with which I will grasp godhood. Excuse me? Okay, whenever someone mentions achieving godlike power, you know that's never gonna end well. Ah, you're stubborn as La Habrea, I see. Although I speak in earnest, you refuse to hear the meaning of my words. Perhaps you'd be better served by a different teacher. Luckily, you already possess the tools I require to make one for you. Oh no, not the Stone of Azem. Oh, it's not the Stone of Azem, it's the, other one. Yes, that crystal's teeming with memories. Memories of two souls you know quite well. La Habrea and Erechthonios. I shall stitch them into the fabric of two errant souls, and with their help you may come to see clearly. Something tells me this isn't going to end well. You, where are we? Surely these two have much to tell you of me, and I would have you listen. Perhaps then you shall better understand me and my desire for godhood. Again, usually that's a huge red flag. There's another, but that sword has proven quite difficult to work with. However, with these memories, I may very manage to weave some together something presentable. Ah, Elidibus, I imagine. And I assume he's difficult to work with because, well, he's Zodiark, if we're blunt. And he's technically on the first now. You do have a place in my plans, and I do hope in time you come to realize that cooperation is the best path forward. I have little understanding of where we are, and yet somehow I am unsurprised to find you here. At present, I have more questions than answers, or perhaps you can help me address the inequity. Is there somewhere we can speak without fear of interruption? Oh yes, I can think of a few. And that tree-looking thing is really neat. Some hints I could glean from the surroundings, but prefer you simply cut through I prefer you simply cut through this knot of questions. Well, before I do, what do you two think of all this? How unexpected. I do hope we can consider them allies. They're all taking notes. No, well, they're all... Oh, I thought they looked like they were taking notes, but no, they're just one with an aura of overwhelming authority, and another that seems uncomfortable in his own skin. I believe I can understand just well enough to be thoroughly intimidated. Yeah, they're all scared of him. But the fact they're our size instead of the giants that the ancients actually are means that, yeah, it shows just how limited they are here. I don't know how long it's been, Coda, but it's good as ever to see your face. Would that it be under more conventional circumstances? Just where are we? What events have led to this unexpected reunion? Ah, yes, I recall you telling us about this memory crystal. To think that it contained our memories. Ah, that's right, that crystal floated up from the top of the sea, and that means there's a lot to take in, not least the fact it means you, and of all the fact you hail from the future. I searched for you after a time, but I could find no trace. Now I know why. And our past self Azem seems to certainly like to be the trickster or playful one, at the very least. Our age had its share of surprises, if my memories are to be believed. The supposedly world-ending final days came upon us, and yet here we are, in a future where you, at least, exist. Oh, don't worry about the final days. I took care of that. Do we overcome the despair that befalls us? Do we find a way to live on? I'm afraid it's going to be very difficult to explain. So how do you Okay, so do you understand the concept of a world being sundered into pieces? Questions without simple answers, it seems. Let's take heart that life is endured in some form, but as memories, we may never have the luxury of the larger picture. Regardless, now that it's come to pass, this future must be protected from Athena's scheming. Athena's scheming. Let this conviction guide our every action. Yeah, I don't think she's lying at all when she's talking all about scientific progress and Godhood and all that. The problem is she's leaving out the fact it involves mad science. Agreed, but as memories give in fleeting form, we are bereft of any physical or magical talents. We cannot aid you in battle. Nay, Athena meant us to speak and nothing more. But though we may be tools, we need not be slaves to her whims. We'll tear ourselves from her grasp and shatter our ambitions. La Brea was one of the few remaining unsundered before we defeated him when he was defeated once and for all. And might be able, if we can reunite with his previous memories, we can... I must wonder how she knew of our history with Coda, then. She was likely she possessed some means by which to observe events within Pandemonium, either while they were occurring or after the fact. Regardless, her knowledge far exceeds our own, a shortcoming we must remedy at once. How can I forget? We would do well to learn more about the pandemonium now dominating the landscape of souls. Coda's colleagues will doubtless prove to be of value in that respect. Right, the scientists. Are those two over there researchers from this era? We may share what we know at once, that we might piece together this vexing puzzle. Alright, so yeah, they're just repeating dialogue. Pandemonium awakens. Oh my. La Habrea is eyeing the frightened researchers with a mix of curiosity and derision. Why do your companions hesitate to approach? We may be unusual visitors, but time is of the essence. Bring them here. It's gonna take a lot to explain all this, that's for sure. And how could I forget? It's not just Pandemonium showing up, it's also this strange memory crystal that showed up. And because it looks so much like the Stone of Azem and the other ones that we found, that we needed to look into this. That's what started this all. Although you maybe, but a confluence of memory, it is an honor to meet personages which I've only read about in Coda's reports. As a researcher, this is beyond exciting, but I admit to no small measure of fear as well. I know what you mean, I can scarcely stop my legs from shaking. We're powerless to do aught but speak, I see no reason for you to be afraid. It is my life I feared for, only fear I might not have a chance to ask you all the questions burning a hole in my mind. We stand before two of the ancients who will price us knowledge beyond the ken of many of our peers. What purpose does fear serve if not to be confronted and conquered? To that end, we shall share with you our records, and perhaps together we can find a thread which will lead us safely out of this conundrum. Information shall be our most precious resource, for that is the only weapon we can wield in these forms. Our memories are at your complete disposal. We can start with Athena, whose thirst for discovery would see all life consumed. Her desires haven't changed. Still, she seeks to transcend her mortal existence to unravel mysteries of life, become a god. A simple and straightforward, yet may not be the most original one, but it's at least one easy to follow. A nebulous concept, but Athena has her own ideas on what in divinity entails. In her mind, a god couldn't even create souls at will. Thus she chose the underworld, or rather the ethereal sea, as is known in this age, as a staging ground for her final experiments. Here lies a practically bottomless well of ether. Even if it means stemming the flow of life itself, she intends to continue her work. She thinks of nothing else. Yeah, I'm pretty sure her thought is, well, if as long as she succeeds, then she can simply replenish any ether she causes the problems with. Or she might not even see a need for it. Just they serve their purpose, and they're not needed anymore, or they're disposed of like anything else. We caught a glimpse of Athena as we came to this world. Her smile, her voice, her just as I remember. Without realizing it, found myself feeling an affection for her. Well, she is your mother. It's hard to break that connection. Hey, don't look at me like I've gone mad. I'm not asking to join her side, but I know the true Ericthonios would never. I know the true Ericthonios would never want that. But these emotions I have remain in memory, if nothing else. Probably remembers her before she became that way, or before he found out she was like that, depending on whichever it was. We shall remain here to compile what information we can. You must infiltrate Pandemonium and seek out Athena. Leave it to me. Smashing things are what I'm best at. I would ask you to leave the memory crystal with us. It may hold secrets which have yet to be unveiled. Oh, I thought I heard it shatter, but I guess that was just a sound cue to reflect what she was doing. All that's left is to cross that menacing threshold. Shall we take a closer look? I have one question for you. Does the word Orosite mean aught to you? Orosite? Why yes, there's a few records of its existence. It mainly makes appearances in the legends of Ivolus, and in tales concerning the Asian in tales concerning an entity known as the Anasian. This personage is associated with Black Orosite, known as the Heart of Sabek, a source of considerable power. I see. So time has not buried it. I see. It's been speculated this raid was largely to explain the last few things between La Habrea, including the truth behind his true name. Because after we learned that their titles are simply the names of the seats which they hold in the leadership, and that they have true names beyond that, they've slowly been revealing the true names of the other Asians. But La Habrea, well, he was already dead for a while, so it was difficult to learn. Read the ancients were much larger people of our era. Perhaps Athena endeavored to make them less imposing. La Habrea asked me about Aura Sight, and yet has yet to say a word about since I gave him the answer. Did I say something wrong? It's quite intimidating in his silence. He's just intimidating in general. I mean, he was the main villain for Realm Reborn, or rather, the one behind the villain of Realm Reborn. I must think. Leave me be while you tend your task. Because the Heart of Sabek was a huge deal. It was behind... Even the Alligans never understood it, and yet he helped them unearth it in order to power up the Ultima weapon. And he intended for it to cause far more destruction than even the one it was given to expected. Hence the such devastation. Such was not my intention. From the outside, Pandemonium looks no different than it did in the past. However, there's no guarantee the inside will remain familiar. You'd do well to secure the area near the entrance first. Once it's cleared of threats, La Habrea and I can approach, and we shall begin exploration of the interior. The portal should convey you to the gates. I hardly need to tell you to keep your weapon at the ready. I knew you would come. Themis. Never lost faith we'd meet again. I told you as much, did I not? Understand you may be confused. I was too at first. You see, I'm not the true Themis. I was made by Athena, modeled from one of the many souls at her disposal. I'm but an illusion, built from memory, no more real than La Habrea or Ecthonios. Even so, I believe I have a grasp on the situation. This is the distant future, is it not? A future where Athena lives once more, although the means of her rebirth are yet beyond me. Here to stop her. Do I have the right of it so far? Very good. I'd be disappointed if you did not rise to her challenge. Although I'm sorry to say I cannot aid you, my creator has tampered with my essence, and I am oddly inclined to act in her interests. I cannot but offer you words of warning. We will fight, and it cannot be avoided. But I already fought you as Elidibus. There's no need for that pained expression. Remember, I'm but an illusion. Nothing worth shedding tears over. What would I do if I gave him his, Heart of Zodiark name? I'd feel bad about trouncing Elidibus again. I know not what's on your mind, but I must once again, I cannot defy the urge to stand against you. Yeah, since this was before he became the Heart of Zodiark, he is unfamiliar with that name, the name he would eventually hold. Likewise, the La Habrea with us is before he ended up being in the future, and that's a big deal because he is one of the few unsundered remaining. So, likewise, he does not have his memories of facing us with the Heart of Sabak. Still, I would ask you to listen carefully to the advice I offer you now. Athena has prepared a new vessel to replace Erechthonios so that she may become a god. By gathering souls ready available here, she tempers her own essence. Yet the souls are faint, diffused. She doubts whether they're sufficient for her goals, and has turned her gaze to you. Despite your thin ether, you managed to lay Hephaestus low, and Athena would know the secrets of your strength. To that end, she's prepared an experiment for observation. Fight your life against Athena's creation. Doing so, give her the knowledge she desires. Honestly, the whole Echo thing just turned out to just be a traveler's ward, and the ability to glimpse into the past from heavy emotions nearby. Yeah, I don't have any special magic or abilities. Oh, she had to do it in the most gross way possible, didn't she? What even is that thing? Pandemonium itself? And they're being blocked off completely. Preventing us from preventing them from seeing, I suppose? What is happening? Athena's made her move. We must find a way to reach her or all is lost. We can do little but hope for Coda's success. At least since this is the present, not the past, I don't have to worry about keeping things preserved. We don't have to worry about messing with the timeline or anything. But dang, I wasn't expecting to have to fight Pandemonium itself. Pandemonium, once a mass of lifeless stone, now imbued with a soul. Athena has grown much since her death at La Habrea's hand. Although the souls she creates are imperfect, they act with absolute obedience. I know you shall cut your way through this monster, as you have so many others. Then you shall come before me. Do not hesitate, do what you must, for that is the only way to stop Athena. Athena will be powering him up, but I doubt he'll be as powerful as he was when he was as powerful as he was in the Seat of Sacrifice. The 10th circle is now accessible. Oh, clear selection. Well, at least I have the power to go to the telescope. In fact, I'm probably the only one strong enough to travel in spite of what's probably intended to be a blockade for me. Dang, I wasn't... The Pandemonium raids have turned way more literal than I was expecting. But then again, I guess maybe I should have realized that might be the issue. I mean, the last raid, the Eden raids, had us fight Eden. The Bahamut raids had us fighting Bahamut. I don't know why I didn't think Pandemonium raids would indeed have us fighting Pandemonium itself. But if we're fighting Pandemonium itself, then where's next? The Northern Empty. Anabaseios, the 10th circle. Hate to play into our hands like this, but we have no choice. This thing has to die. And since we don't have to worry about preserving the future, I won't need to hold back.
I am Pandemonium.
It can talk?
From countless failures have I wrought miracles. Into soulless vessels I breathe life.
Demonic dungeon Pandemonium. Oh, this is cool. Right, I need to correct that.
You will go no further.
Oops, I did not notice there was another Reaper here.
I spin my web. This prison offers no escape. I mustn't disappoint. Lady Athena.
Right, I need to do all those. I messed up really
Stay
badly.
where you are. When I come to change. A tangled morsel awaiting death.
We always fight the title of each raid.
All hearts lead back to me. I operate the limits of Lady Athena's power. Stay where you are. A tangled morsel awaiting death. All paths lead back to me. These bars are unbreakable.
Oh. Oh, so the arena is much bigger than I thought. Clever.
I am Pandemonium, and these shall survive. Stay where you are. Bear yourselves to me. Will be unnoticed. For Athena, for Mother. Oh, Your soul screams.
At least everyone else is alive, that's fine, right?
Wet like unto chains. These bars are unbreakable. Stay where you are. Wet like unto chains.
This guy is actually pretty hard.
All paths lead back to me. For Athena.
Well, at least everyone else knows
For
what to
Mother.
do. Part of me wanted to use Limb Break myself, but at the same time, I'm the newest person here, and I'm dying a lot, so I'm not sure if that would be productive. Then again, I guess if we all wipe, that's technically only partially my fault.
Your soul screams.
Ooh, you should. Well, we defeated the titular Pandemonium of the Pandemonium Raids. Guess we can all go home. What now? Well, she did say it was to gather information more than anything else. That was a beautiful display as always. Stand enchanted by her grace in battle. Oh, they found a way in. Coda, is that? Another illusion Athena's created. Pandemonium's final gate's been cast wide. I shall await your arrival in beyond. Apologies for not coming sooner. The space is enveloped by some foul energy, and we couldn't risk venturing in before taking due precautions. Were my eyes mistaken? Was that Themis? Tell us what you know. We must consider our next course of action very carefully. That must have been Themis, but how? Oh no, but I'm gonna grab a sip of my drink real quick. Refreshing. I ought to have anticipated this. If she bore witness to past events within Pandemonium, Athena would have found Elidibus impossible to overlook. Few possess such a talent for magic, to say naught of the emissary's discerning judgment. And so she found his soul upon the tides of the Imperial Sea and used his memories to craft a puppet to serve her whims. Oh, is what Themis said true? She imbued Pandemonium itself with a soul? To breathe life into that which should never live. Research is fast approaching its culmination. Fortunately, with the information shared with us by our friends, we've made some strides in figuring out how to stop her. A crystal card, the Halt of Sabak, may be the key. The researchers related a quick but thorough history of events leading to present, sundering the star, emergence of Ascians, the calamities they brought forth upon the realm. Tales that under other circumstances would have considered childish fantasy, were not for a name that rang true in La Habrea's memories. The heart of Sabak. To you, the ultimate secret of Ultima Weapon's might, not least of which is known as the ultimate spell known as Ultima, a source of enduring mystery. Pandemonium also had it, and let's see here. The only other ones, I think the only other one to use Ultima in proper name was, well, High Seraph Ultima, and they're obviously a special case. We're told that the general from the Garlean Empire was gifted this aura sight by an Ascian, and that the Ultima weapon might be perfected. The identity of the shadowy benefactor, however, remains a curious unknown. It's a bit difficult to reveal that it was his future self that would do that. You seem to be a veritable trove of common knowledge, if there's aught you are withholding. Very well. At present, the heart of Sabak itself is a great moment. It is a creation of Athena's, made during her time with the words of La Habrea. That explains how he knew of it. This predates even Pandemonium's construction. She brought before us a crystal she claimed to have chanced upon, saying it contained immense power. She dubbed it Orosite, studying it with a fervor unusual even for her. The eventual fruit of our efforts was a Stygian crystal unlike aught we'd ever seen, the Heart of Sabak. Did Athena encounter Ultima, the High Seraph, perchance? That, as I said, there are only three who I can, off the top of my head, who have used that spell. Unexpectedly specific question. I gather the Heart of Sabak is not the only Orosite of this era. Regardless, I know not of this High Seraph. Athena was never forthcoming as to how she found the crystal, though we came to suspect it was not of our star. Much later, we discovered Orosite magnifies the desires of those it comes with. This would do much to explain Athena's actions following her recovery of the crystal. Interesting. Alas, this realization came too late. By the time I moved to seal the Orosite and its insidious influence away, Athena's plot had already been laid. I see. High Seraph Ultima must have come from another star, along with the Orosite, and from there, she was the one who received it. It's entirely possible it may have even laid dormant until the Eveless people found it. We can worry about that later. So what became of the Heart of Sabak? I took it from Athena's library after I ended her life. The density of the ether within was unlike anything I've ever observed. I knew its capacity for destruction, but further analysis proved impossible. I elected to safeguard it myself. It's possible that Athena... Is it possible that Athena herself obscured the crystal's contents? Even were her memory stored within, I would have remained in ignorance. If she included some mechanism by which to give these memories form, as she did with my own, then she would have been reborn. Ironic that I should have protected those very memories in the name of safeguarding the star. Fate is loath to see such mistakes go unpunished. Hmm. That monster unleashed Ultima? I can only guess it was Athena's hand that placed such magic within the heart of Sabek. If so, it's only natural she'd gift her own creation such terrible power. Ultima's always been a very special spell in the Final Fantasy universe, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised that even in this game, it's considered very special. As I said, only a handful of enemies have ever used a spell with that specifically has that name. The Emissary's Judgment. Lahabrea would discuss lingering questions concerning Athena. I've told you all that I know of Athena and the many secrets she kept hidden from the world. If she indeed stored her memories within the heart of Sabek, we must ask ourselves how they were awakened in this age. When was the crystal last sighted? Well, during my fight with the Ultima weapon. I was hoping it would be destroyed along with it, but in which you triumphed but failed to recover the heart. Yet according to your colleagues, there was another one on battlefield that day, an Ascian. And this selfsame Ascian was later struck down at the location known as the Ethereal Chemical Research Facility. For the same, and recently, the site of Professor Claudian's disappearance. Indeed, he was tracing an ethereal signature resembling that of the memory crystal in his possession, a signature that may well have belonged to the heart of Sabek, in which case it's no coincidence that Athena's awakening followed. But what reason would he have to bring her back to life? Was his mind not his own? Could she have controlled him from far? Yet more questions without answers, yet Athena's essence is of that memory. Her magics have not suffered for lack of a physical body. Although her essence is of that memory, her magic have not suffered from a lack of her body. As the world is now, it should not be possible, but she must have found a suitable vessel. My guess is the professor's body is precisely the one she's possessing. We know that the Ascians have the ability to possess mortal bodies for whatever purposes they need. It wouldn't be surprising if she used a similar technique. If Elidibus is to be if Elidibus is to be believed, she readies this vessel for godhood and is perilously close to success. It beggars belief. As you well know, you were the linchpin of her ambition. Yours was the only form that could contain immense power. Athena acquired, and has long since turned to dust. As pleasant as this discussion is, we require more information for her to unravel this mystery. You know what awaits you, Coda, Themis. I fear you won't find him as so cooperative as we're accustomed to. We know not how vast the space beyond these gates are, but if somewhere within lurks Athena, with Elidibus leads to her side. This may be a simplistic theory, but hear me out. If he arose from memories intact, he will be eager to see reason. We need only break the magics that bind him to regain our old ally. When I had fallen under Hephaestus's influences, you didn't stop trying till I was freed. I'd ask you to do the same for Themis. Though none of us are real in the conventional sense, I feel it must be done. He would never wish to be your enemy. True, even when we met him after he became Elidibus, he was very clearly a non-hostile Ascian, at least at first. In fact, he explicitly stated he had no wish to fight us. Given his memories have not been erased, that would mean that he knew who we were the entire time, and perhaps also the reason he hesitated to fight us. Then again, it had also been so long it's possible he himself had forgotten. I mean, it took him a while to remember, wait. Yes, I remember you. I remember now. Or at least something like it. Only when we mentioned the Elpis to him that he started getting everything, his memories started flooding back. While Eric Thonios' perspective is a sentimental one, Elidibus may possess privileged knowledge. To question him unimpeded by magics would be ideal. Augustus broke free of her bonds in her final moments, suggesting that Athena's hold weakens under the weight of combat. You might use the same principles to unshackle Elidibus' mind. But remember that our very nature is fragile. Even if he inhabits a vessel with which to meet you in battle, I'm certain it is not meant to endure. If left weakened for too long, his ether may dissipate back. You'd best act quickly. Do, 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 do. The 11th circle is now accessible. Well, I embarrassed myself horribly against the Pandemonium boss fight, but I should be able to win back my honor in the next one. We know not for how long we'll have free reign to go between here and the telescope. We'll remain now until absolutely necessary. The crystal, I've returned to the safekeeping of your colleagues. I could not find nothing new amongst the memories stored within. This space, on the other hand, is fascinating, wrought by the same power the key ward wielded, perhaps. Here we are. The 11th circle. I should have no issue capping. I should probably get my stuff prepared, but I don't think we have very long to wait. Although I suppose that I can freely head back to Old Charlian. As I mentioned, this place is well designed because just about everything, the market board, the summoning bell, even the inn is near the main aetherite for any major things you might need to do in a big city. Right, portraits. Here we are. So I do think even after the next expansion drops, unless they make an even more convenient city, people will in fact still be returning to Charlian just because it's a convenient, everything's in a convenient place. Sadly, Razat Han, while it's really busy now, that's also because it gives relevant gear from tomestones and raid items. It's going to be significantly less populated. Like, remember last time when I went to Idleshire and basically no one was there? That Idleshire was where that was for Heaven's Ward, and basically no one's there anymore unless they specifically want to get a Heaven's Ward item or quest there. Like me and my Firebird, for example. Right, I need to get repairs. I expect to die a lot in the coming fights. The last two are usually significant difficulty spike compared to the first two, so I'll have to be prepared accordingly. Well, the next area... I guess the next expansion... I was gonna say how it looks pretty nice, like a summer vacation of sorts, and boy, does our character need a summer vacation after all that's gone on. Not only from, saving the world, to finally defeating... Well, the Ascians were technically defeated last time, but you get what I mean. And also, stopping... possibly saving the 13th, depending on how that story goes. It'll be good to have some relax. And finally, we get to have ourselves big fat tacos. I hate to go too far. I could teleport and do the teleport quest again, but those are, but it's actually not that long to wait for most of these, so I don't want to, Yeah, I pretty much have all the, previous engine gear, so I'm pretty much starting fresh. It's not a big deal, but I guess it does give me a reason to farm Moogle tomestones when that event starts out. Because apparently I'm dating the VOD by mentioning quote-unquote upcoming expansion. And I guess to explain for anyone unfamiliar, basically a Moogle Tome quest is an event they put at the end of each patch cycle, which of course, good news, does mean that I will be doing the next patch's storyline sooner rather than later this time, rather than, taking a few months off. Or such is the hope right now. Obviously, things come up, things will be different, but yeah. But they usually you get the Moogle Tomestones by doing less popular content, which is good for me because I love the MOBA-esque mode, but nobody queues for it. Like, where's the PvP modes here? Yeah, Rival Wings. I believe Astrologos is not available right now, it's just Hidden Gorge. But yeah, unfortunately, I have tried to queue for it recently, but it's been well over half an hour with no... Well, actually, no, I left it going and it just said over more than 30 minutes as the estimated time, and yeah, at that point, it's very clear no one's queuing for it. But when the Moogle Tomes arrive, people actually queue for it because it's one that gives it, so that's gonna be really good. I really like what they've done with the PvP mode in here. I was concerned they might be spending a lot of effort for something that seemed doomed to not be nearly as fun as the main game, but they've done quite a bit to make it better, I must admit. It's neat seeing all the new crafted weapons that are coming up too, although with certain exceptions, the jobs from Endwalker here are not going to be getting any of the crafted gear stuff. That'll be the next expansion when they start getting their gear. Unfortunately, that's rather normal. Like the crafted boss primal weapons from Shadowbringers did not include the jobs actually from Shadowbringers, so despite the four kings of Byakko, Seiryu, Suzaku, and Genbu all being... Wait, does Genbu? I don't think Genbu has any, because he's a stage boss, rather than a trial fight. But yeah, I'm just shooting the breeze at this point. But it looks like we're really close to getting the queue to pop, so I don't want to teleport somewhere else and, distract. And get, well, not distract, so much as more just teleport there, then immediately have to teleport to the event. And of course, once I beat the stage, it's going to teleport me back to the Pandemonium stuff, so no point in spending all that money that's just going to be put to waste. It looks like we're really close. Just need a couple tanks. And sadly, my tanks do not have the item level for that. I'm still catching up on my main, let alone any alts, so here we are. Reaper time. There we are.
I suppose I have Athena to thank for this incarnation. I have long considered how I might stand against you, I admit.
Wait.
In transformation, I present to you my truth. I am invisible.
I guess this is to make up for the fact we didn't fight Elidibus proper back, Shadowbringers. He had a different strategy there. Ephemeral Justice, Themis. The angelic appearance is no coincidence, I imagine. Oh, there actually isn't one here. Okay, good. Yeah, he's a mix of light and darkness. Of course he'd trick me like that.
Submit to the emissary's judgment!
Lights a cord.
Will you be judged worthy to exist? These magics are not for you.
Of course. Sigils of Discord. Lights a cord. Balance in darkness.
Will you be judged worthy to exist?
Upheld ruling.
From beyond! I am the emissary, and I shall never die.
Dark's a cord. That was close.
These magics are not for you.
Oh, not in there. Of course.
Will you be judged worthy to exist? Will light embrace or darkness consume? For victory!
Oopsie.
Warriors forged in my own image.
Shadowy messengers.
These magics are not immune to me.
Ah, didn't work.
From beyond!
Oops, sorry for anyone who, checked Discord from that. I swear I usually... but I'll not remembering that.
Your measure! For victory!
Light and dark.
I am the innocent, and I shall never die.
Light is so dark. Well, someone used it is what matters. There we go. There we go. Managed to achieve what we needed. His current form is clearly not intended to last. Fog is lifted. I knew Athena's magic's magnifying the desires of the victim at the expense of all else. I never guessed the desire of mine she could exploit. Since the moment we met, I've made plain my interest in you, my desire to understand your nature. I suppose curiosity extended how each of us would fare in a match of strength. What's this? Free. Then I am no longer needed. Maybe not for her, but we have quite a bit we need of you. Feel a lot crestfallen, my friend. These few months of clarity are more than I could have asked for. She doesn't need you, but Themis, but we need you. I should be able to give some ether to sustain his form, even if for a bit. This warmth. Your ether. You've grasped the fraying strands of my being and tied them together with your own. Nevertheless, I fear I am on borrowed... here on borrowed time. I can only hope I can see you through the last of our battles. Until then, I will cherish every moment. I am Elidibus, the emissary. As such, it falls on me to judge Athena, who disrupt our carefully maintained balance to fulfill her own desires. I swear I shall not waver in this duty. Let us return to Erechthonios and La Habrea. There's much I would share with you before we embark on our final ascent. Four of us together once again, though I may not have directly experienced our adventures, my memories take our bonds as real as any other. As I surmised, Elizabeth was constructed with the strength to see her battle done, yet I fear his ether may not sustain him through another. Themis, good to see you. I knew Coda would guide you aside once again. I'm grateful for the patience to tolerate my lapse in manners. Athena's hold upon me is broken. I pledge every moment of my remaining time in seeing that she answers for her deeds. Very good. To that end, I would have you share what you know of her plan. Of course, as I mentioned, Athena possesses a vessel which may serve in the creation of a god. It is someone Coda knows well, a man by the name of Claudian. By a twist of fate, his body proved to be ideal for Athena's purpose. What are the odds of that, unless... Oh, he must be a reincarnation of Erechthonios. Creation of a person requires not just a body, soul, and memory, but rather all three. We are made from the memories of our ancient counterparts, etched upon the drifting souls, given form through the infusion of ether. We lack a physical body, yet you can see and feel us all the same. Ah, so she basically summoned them as servants. Good to know, good to know. Athena is different. She has carved her memories into Claudian's soul while it was still within his body, and thus made both her own. But even she is prone to error. After the sundering, beings became more fragile in both body and soul, and this difference prevents Athena from realizing the full extent of her desires. Ah, so that's why she turned her sights towards Coda. His uncommon strength rivals even the mightiest of our age. By scrutinizing his feats in battle, she aims to deduce the secrets of Coda's prowess, use it to fortify her own vessel. Only then will the culmination of research be at hand. And can't we then simply remove Athena from Claudian's body? An arduous task, but not impossible. Athena can inscribe herself on another's soul, but she cannot erase its will. If we awaken Claudian's spirit to the reality of his bondage, he might be compelled to wrest his body from Athena's clutches. We still don't know why she chose Claudian. What makes him more suited than anyone else? Although I've never spoken to Claudian, I did witness an incident that may prove revelatory. When instructing the vessel to do her bidding, she called it by a familiar name, Erechthonios. So he must be a sundered fragment of Erechthonios. What? Why would she? It is as I thought. Knew I was on the right track there. Our course of action is clear. Lay Athena low and rescue Claudian. A difficult task to be sure, but one which present company is more than capable of achieving. Why would Athena use my name? More questions and fewer answers to go around. La Habrea would discuss the plan to bring about Athena's end. A mother's touch. Themis, you may have just handed us the key to rescuing Claudian. What must we do? First and foremost, we must confront Athena. She must be made vulnerable, as Elidibus was. Yet our opponent stands on the verge of godhood. As we are now, she could simply unmake us in an instant. Coda, we have no choice but to blah, 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 blah. Coda, we have no choice but to place the burden of our fate and the fate of many more besides squarely upon your shoulders. I trust you have no objections. Well, it's not the first. God or no, I shall cast her down. Objections, no concern. Yes. It's a burden I'm used to carrying. I imagine so. Ever have we relied upon your skills at arms? And we must appreciate Coda's willingness to fling himself at the unknown. However, we've yet to how this will liberate Claudian. I do have a plan. Do not trouble yourself over the details. I see. If it's a sundered piece of Ericthonios, then getting his memories reunited might be able to give him enough will to forcibly remove her. It's going to sacrifice the current Ericthonios, but he probably won't be against it if we tell him honestly, although La Habrea probably thinks he might have second guesses on it. Same goes for you, Coda. Focus on the enemy of the intention. It could also be that he's worried that we might be against it, and he can't have us hesitating when the moment comes to fight. You must focus the entirety of your attention on Athena. She will not easily be bested even by one of your prowess. Then let us trust in La Habrea and prepare for the battle to come. Before we must face Athena, I must know. If she had never discovered Orosite, had never fallen under its influence, would she have lived a normal life? Would she have been a proper mother to me? I've asked myself the same questions with no answer, I feel. Almost reminds me of Gaia and the general from Grandia. When it's put that way. Let us put them out of our mind. There's something we must discuss, and I must do so not as La Brea, but as father or son. Yeah, he's fine with telling Electhonius what needs to do, but he probably knows that we'd probably be against it. We're too much of a goody two-shoes to... This is moving by a lot quicker than I thought. Only an hour and a half already, wow. Previous ones weren't this quick, were they? Right now, Athena must be the sole focus of her attention. She shall not hesitate to exploit any weakness she can sense. For now I place her trust in you. The rest must wait until Athena is before us. Athena maintains absolute control over the space. Beyond the gate, she has doubtless built herself an abode worthy of a god, and now awaits the arrival of her supplicants. You know, I'm gonna test something right now here. Let me check the playlist for my Final Fantasy XIV VODs. How long was the previous one? Abyssos. Alright, Abyssos and the Rising event was around a bit short of 4 hours. Let's see here. Where's the Asphodelos story? Yeah, Asphodelos story was again short of 4 hours. This implies to me we're about to be entering cutscene, an after cutscene, so we must be prepared accordingly. We're not going to PvP. Not right now, anyways. Trials, raids. The 12th circle. The chief keyword of Pandemonium's appetite for godhood has been made only more keen by 12 millennia of slumber. Even our flesh and blood are not but tools with which to feed it. No sacrifice too great No price too high. Athena would see all life extinguished if it brought her 1 inch closer to her ultimate goal. Her wicked ambitions can be suffered no longer, so you must journey to the heart and cut out the source. I probably should look this up after queuing for it, now that I think about it. Once again, let's get some repairs going. Probably get that back, in case anything goes wrong with the chat. Yeah, the Knights of the Round ended up getting Sage and Reaper weapons, simple like the one I'm using right now, because the ultimate for it was released at around the same time. At around the same time Endwalker itself did. That's right. Sorry, for some reason I lost my train of thought there. Other ones like oh, Nyako. Nope, Byakko. Yeah, Byakko's inspirited weapons. You'll notice that there is no Reaper. Now, granted, there is other weapons like the here. Great sword. Seiryu, sanctified. Sadly, again, you'll. Ooh, that's a neat one. But yeah, as you can see, no pendulums or whatever they usually call the sage weapon, and no scythe. Red mage. How's the rapier look? Not half bad, if we're honest. Well, I guess since I might end up maining one of the jobs in the next one for the next expansion, I can't wait to see exactly what they have to offer. There's usually a DPS in either a tank or a healer. It's rarely been both. Heaven's Ward, they did manage to get all three a new one, but they said don't expect that to be too normal. And of course, during Stormblood, they released 2 DPSs. I can certainly tell you that queue times were a nightmare there, but, well, Stormblood's pretty infamous for having a pretty rough launch time in general, so perhaps that was to be expected. A drainage system. I repaired it right. Good. It looks like this one might take a bit longer than the others, surprisingly. Oh, whatever. Now, the teleport to Hopers holds right here. Very well, I shall do the, teleport questline here. I don't intend to make it a habit of doing all the tribal quests on stream, but I figure I've got DPS queues. Prototypical retrieval. Oh. Never mind then. Commence. That was a bit faster than expected. Well, no complaints. If I need a fast queue, I can also do an alliance raid later. I just have to be careful, because if we get the one from Ivalis, well, most people don't realize 1 is not a prime number.
You have done
Surprising.
well to reach the seat of godhood. Now, bear your souls to me.
I think I'll bear you 8 in total, if that's fine with you. Also, we're here to kick your ass, so... Theos. Athena.
Show me your all, that I might become divinity manifest!
Someone chats all, I can fix her, and someone's all, actual god couldn't fix her.
You cannot escape my advantage.
Okay, note to tell, that's how... I have no idea what this is, but I have the feeling it's going to be very unpleasant.
You cannot escape my advantage.
I see. Okay, now that was the lag. You see me clearly out of that, but the server said no. Damn you, server ticks.
These tales are forged from the fabric of creation.
I have no idea what these things are, and something tells me... Ah, donut attacks. Good to know. Following the crowd can't possibly end badly, right? I'm guessing, yeah. I figured that might be the case when I was seeing that. Glad I have some level of instinct. What's unnatural enchainment? I don't like that. Oh! Oh, she removes the... And as if I didn't already hate the risk of falling on these stages.
cannot escape my eternal gaze.
Oh, this is gonna suck ass. Oh, I see, that's a tiny one. Wow, that was a tinier she left us. You two tank.
This is but a glimpse of the god's strength.
Yeah, that was tiny. I'm guessing the tanks determine where she's facing for that move. I mean, I know it's bad form to blame someone else, but I highly doubt the intent is to have such a tiny spot there. Yeah, I mean, breakfast, so my ninjutsu isn't strong at the moment. Damn it. I don't blame anyone for that but myself. I should have been a lot more careful. Ninjutsu. Wrong. That was our fault, sorry. Uh-oh.
Seven hells to the pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble!
I was expecting the boss to return such a way. Ultimate.
Show me your all, that I might become divinity manifest! You cannot escape my eternal gaze.
At least now I know some of her mechanics, so that I should die less. A little less, anyway.
You cannot escape my eternal gaze.
I don't know why I blanked out on what I was supposed to do there. I guess I was a bit too focused on the mechanic. Well, actually, I forget. Some fights like this used to have an end rage in normal mode if you don't beat them fast enough, but I don't know if that's still the case. Granted, the fact we're near the end of this particular patch means means there's a lot more geared people to make it easier, so let's do it. Well, I'll trust the team on this one. If we all die, I'm blaming all of you. I don't want to use my super mode when we're about to, okay, we want to be in this one, I think. And now to this one.
Shine brilliant for me!
Oh dear. Enchained. Spiritually chained to the terrestrial plane and able to jump. Alright. Start here. Oh, come on, are you kidding me?
This is the bliss of the god's strength.
Ultima Blade. I do have a shield of my own, at least. Wow, that hurt like hell. Crap. Get back, get back, get back, back. That could have been bad.
Seven elves is the pinnacle of the heavens. The world shall tremble.
I'm not sure how much this will help, but... Ooh, that hurt like hell. Theos' Ultima.
Resolute soul.
Brilliant for me. You cannot escape my eternal gaze. Today, theory shall be proven as fact.
Oops. I accidentally overlapped there.
These chains are forged from the fabric of creation.
Well, the healer specifically is the one who asked me to, damn it. Asked me to LB3, so... I see no reason not to follow their recommendation.
For me.
The Reaper LB3 is really fun, too. Seems like most of the team is doing well even with my multiple deaths, so that's good.
Today, my theory shall be proven as fact.
chains are forged from the fabric of creation. Shine brilliant for me! You cannot escape my eternal gaze.
Let's just start here. There we go. We got her. Interesting. Did she do a thing similar to primal creation? Anabaseios complete. Oh. Of course, one did the shittiest performance gets the doll at the end. Couldn't have you getting too comfy. Looks like we're here. Right. Countless years I waited within that stifling crystal, and now when my dream is finally within reach, you stand in my way. Your dream is not but a selfish ambition. Its fulfillment would benefit only you. And why, Athena? At the end of this road to godhood, what do you hope to find? Yeah, what did you hope to achieve after you created your artificial god? It matters not. The fact remains she works against the interest of the star. Even so, I'd hear her answer. I would know why my mother cast us aside. Representing that she's now removing all masks. How unlike you, Erchthonios. You were never so inquisitive before. Having struck upon a hypothesis, there's but one thing a wise woman desires. Irrefutable proof. My theory is that any true god that would see us as we are, imperfect, she would hammer out our flaws, build something even greater. To prove this could not but benefit the star, or to give it the perfect stewards, it would shine brighter than any other. And you destroy the lives already upon it. In that time, no different from our peers, over the course of eons, how many creations have we wrought? Such creatures cannot but usher our inferior predecessors into oblivion. Even without our meddling, nature would take the self-same course. If the destination's the same, is it somehow worse to arrive there by the guidance of a god? I think not. The Orosite made such thoughts irresistible, perhaps, but it cannot have created them whole cloth. This is Athena's truth. Yeah, at the end of the day, she had to have these ideals and thoughts to begin with in order for the crystal to amplify them. Truth is, she was always evil, for lack of a better put it. Perhaps a better way to put it, but at the same time, what right have you to pass judgment? You are but a vessel for my masterwork. Your purpose ends there. My only mistake was leaving you possessed of a soul. Whoops. What are you saying? Poor Ericthonios, always last to arrive at the obvious conclusion. I gave birth to you for a single reason. You might serve as my tool, and like any tool, I crafted you to serve my needs. You might accept my essence. Okay, you know what? I take back all that. She is, in fact, evil. Of course, I also made you more amiable to my demands and ensured you'd feel a cloying affection for your dear mother. However, it seems that my tinkering was insufficient. My very feelings were of your own design? You created a boy, unable to grasp even the simplest magic, ever hopelessly clinging to his mother's robes, unable to do otherwise. I was doomed from the start. Yet here you are, standing in defiance of her design. You're more than what she made of you. I still feel the sting of it, but with pain comes clarity. You ill deserve to wear the mantle of a god. As stubborn as you are witless, if the star will not be mine, it serves no purpose. Oh, she's gonna pull a Frieza. And here I am without my tank classes geared up. She aims to obliterate the ethereal E and stem the flow of life. She will do no such thing. Before the battle, La Habrea told me I was the key to finishing this. Although I am but an illusion, my soul has crossed eons to find its home in another, one whose body Athena has seen fit to purloin as her own. Much of what I once was now resides within him. Should my memories seize this chance to follow suit, they may be resound enough to wake his mind. But Athena inhabits him. What will become of you? I don't know, but if I can rouse his soul, perhaps it will disrupt Athena's bind. It's the best chance we have. My whole life, others have looked down upon me, but I've never given up searching for my purpose, and now I've found it. The decision is yours to make, and yours alone. Do as you will, my son. I know you shall make me proud. Now here's an Ascian theme we haven't heard in years. But now it holds a much different. Erchthonios, do not dare. It's because she knows it would work. She would not be bothered by him attempting to do so if it had no chance of actually working. No, stop this! Your words hold no sway over me any longer. My life is my own. And I have found my true family. Ah, my power wanes. Vessel rejects me. Professor is safe, and she's been separated. What's happening? Athena's magic should be impotent with no body to fuel them. Precisely. Athena was the sole force holding the space around Pandemonium together, and now it crumbles. Although little would change if we were buried here, we cannot let this be Coda's final resting place. professor as well. Even her mask is still there. Of all my miscalculations, to think that you would be my undoing, that you would even be capable of defying me. Ah, is there more you would say to me? Or have you decided to return to your dear mother's bosom? Have you brought Claudian back to me? Apologies, but I am only the dregs of your own memory. I can do naught but watch the evil you've wrought collapses, burying you under its weight. How disappointing. Truly useless to the last. And who made me that way? Oh, that may have hurt her more than any physical damage possibly could have. Hope this is it restoring everything to normal, because if not... Questions, questions, more questions. Why did Claudian set up by himself? What did he see? Oh, he wakes up soon. At least on the surface, he appears unharmed. We must wait for him to regain consciousness to judge anything beyond that, I fear. Although Archthonios was not but a collection of memories, I know his absence pains you, but he acted with resolve, fully aware of potential consequences. Let's look back on this moment, not with sorrow, but with pride. You both are heroes of the day. Athena's ambitions would have swallowed the world had you not stemmed their advance. We shall stay here, both to look over Professor Claudian, and ensure that there is no further disturbances. You should rest, and I will not take no for an answer. Guided by the past. Labrea watches over Claudian with concern. It seems we can do naught but wait. So we might discuss some matter which has been troubling me. While your colleague, Emi, was enlightening us of historical events which led to this era, she let slip one of the names of one of the Asians, La Habrea. Although she knew of the figure only from research, she was most insistent there was no evidence connecting the Asian to myself. Yet, I am aware that this La Habrea used the heart of Sabek to sow chaos throughout your world. I'd be a fool to deny such strong connections between us. You're the only one present who has met the Asian in question, so I'd ask directly, are he and I one and the same? It is my fate to work in the shadows and to bring about untold destruction. He wants me to... I cannot be certain, but it seems highly likely, yes. I see. If you say it so, there's no reason to disbelieve it. These Asians, or Paragons, I'm told, were ruthless in their schemes to rejoin the Sunward world. I've heard but a small number of their deeds. I still find it difficult to comprehend the depths to which they were willing to sink. Choose the path of evil for the sake of the star. I admit, 'tis a decision I would indeed make under the right circumstances. Although the ages may take their toll, my devotion to my duty will never waver. Paying no heed to what might be lost, I will treat the heart of Sabek as a mere tool for my own ends. Never caring to look beyond the surface, I will unleash forces that I fail to truly comprehend and remain blissfully ignorant of the hypocrisy all the while. Takes a lot to hear, yeah, you eventually turn into a bad guy. And it certainly takes quite someone to admit, yeah, I could see myself doing that, given the circumstances. Ah, it appears Claudine has awakened. Hoda, you have some faint memories of what transpired. You stood against Athena and won. And you were there as well. La Habrea, Ericthonios' memories of you dwell within me still. Through unyielding discipline, you hoped to forge a son equal to yourself, but the crucible you placed him in left scars which were loath to heal. Yet you were never moved by selfishness. All you did was in service of your duty. At least I'll hear no more. Though you possess Ericthonios' memories, you are not him. In rebirth, you become someone else entirely, and you belong to this age. As such, I am your enemy, and an enemy does not deserve sympathy. Of course, I would never condone the actions of an Asian. You not him, not La Habrea of the Convocation. You spared no effort in saving us from Athena's machinations. For that, you deserve the utmost praise and my personal thanks. You insist on deceiving yourself, so be it. My stance remains unchanged. The most difficult of your trials is behind you, but you may find that Pandemonium has yet to relinquish the last of its secrets. Among them is the identity of Hephaestus' liberator, who set the very first wheels in motion. There's but one place you'll find the answers: the past. However, I must insist you keep silent about Athena's fate. While I doubt it would change the decisions I make, you should not tender us information we could not uncover ourselves. Now that I've said my piece, I shall follow in my son's footsteps. He was always on borrowed time, but it doesn't make it any easier. These odious memories will fade into nothing, as was always their fate. Farewell. My time too draws near, but believe I can stay long enough to see this matter through. We shall journey to the past to see the truth of La Habrea's words, yes? While Themis himself may have been there to see this encounter, I have the unique opportunity to hear your perspective. That, of course, if you'll share it with me. I look forward to it. I shall take in the ethereal sea one final time as I await your return. Yeah, setting free Hephaestus was absolutely what, was a pretty huge deal. Oh, wait, let's talk to everyone before we go. I believe we've yet to see the full effect full effects these events will have on the ethereal sea. Once Professor Claudian recovers, we must conduct a thorough investigation. I too shall stay here and await your return. I could use the rest, and there's a matter which I would discuss with you in Themis before we say our farewells. Rust and I shall return to the Emporium and report to our Master Fortuno at once. Oh, where to begin? Now all that's left is to return to Pandemonium and ask La Habrea to shed light upon its few remaining mysteries. I look forward to your return. The world unsundered. Now, this Elpis was absolutely an area I needed to get my light unlocked in because, well, as you can see, there's a lot of, actually, you can see it shortly. Yeah, there's a lot of vertical traversals in around here, so yeah, flight makes mobility here so much easier. A lighthouse. Or at least I'm guessing that's a lighthouse. Enter the gates of Pandemonium. Ah, there's some people here. Likely seeing to which support. Must free the rest of our colleagues. Oh, Hegemon's here. Pandemonium's protective wards have all been restored. Pandemonium restored, but who else is there? Can I get these guys to say anything? I guess this person doesn't have anything to say since they're moving around. Ah, you must be Koda. I'm Hegemon, keyword of Abyssos, but I suspect you may already know that. We did meet once before, after all, although I was not entirely myself there. Thanks to you, however, I can rightly say my facilities are mine once more. At present, I'm taking stock of the damage done to the facility. Glad we were able to save most, if not all, the people affected by Athena. Passage to the hidden compound. Ah, our friends in the flesh, as it were. But I didn't expect you to see you again so soon, but 'tis always a joy. You seem quite happy to be here. Thank you for checking up on us. Did you speak with Hedgemon and the warders on the way here? Work is long. We've made great strides on undoing Athena's meddling. Oh, Coda, truth be told, I thought you'd have a little reason to ever visit this place again. Seems I was wrong. You'd appreciate me being blunt, so I'm actually here to figure out some answers here. How neatly you obfuscate your motivations. Do as you will, then. He's gone through the trouble to visit us. I hardly think curtains is in order. We braved Pandemonium together. Why not at least share with him some of our progress? I relinquished control of Pandemonium to La Habrea. I was never meant to hold it for long, and now such authority is in rightful hands. With La Habrea's help, we have poured through Athena's research into the Hemetheoi. We were thus able to restore Hegemon's mind and body. Yet there's still much work to be done. Damage to repair, keywords to replace, and the tasks are too many to count. Though the path may be long, our progress may be is steady. I believe we can safely say Pandemonium will soon function as it did before. Indeed. But before we reach that point, however, there are some matters which must be put to rest. One concerns Pandemonium itself, and another's a personal matter. Until they're settled, I cannot move forward. I shall not take long. Lack of resolve caused me to delay, but I've chosen my course. These concerns must be weighty indeed. Did you intend to share your burden with us? If you would bear witness, then come. Your arrival at this very moment almost beggars belief. I shall not ask you to leave. I simply ask you to not interfere, no matter what may happen. Little does he know, I don't think I'm allowed to interfere. Stay here. This will be over soon. Why did you come here, Master La Habrea? There's still much to be done if the warders to be freed. You've served with Pandemonium since Athena's time, have you not? That makes you the most senior key ward. Now that Agdistis is done. Gone. Now that Agdistis is done. As such, you deserve to know a secret few others are privileged to hear. One concerning myself. Separating Hephaestus from myself required moving part of my soul. Unnecessary sacrifice, but one which came at no small cost to my natural talents. I am but a shadow of the man I was at the time of my appointment to La Habrea. I could never hope to wield the same magic Hephaestus used to bind the warders' minds, let alone break their shackles. The tone of defeat does not befit your voice, Master La Habrea. Do not give in to despair. What's with her expression? Or does he know something? There is no despair, only truth. I do not confide in you to garner cheap sympathy. Hephaestus left behind concerning research. His conclusion was that in order to turn a vessel into a Hemetheos, absolute control over the mind was essential. As you well know, the magic used to achieve such dominion exploited strong emotions in their victim hearts. In the case of Hesperos and Agistus, their respect for me. Upon slipping the bonds, Hephaestus took steps to throw Pandemonium into chaos. With their attention divided, key ward and warder alike were easy targets. But there was an act that came before, regardless of Hephaestus' prowess, that he could not have won freedom on his own. For long days and nights I pondered who might have released him. I could only conclude that Athena's plans were set in motion long, long ago when she claimed the mind of one of her admirers. Hegemon, none could question pride in your position, your devotion to Pandemonium. You do not believe, but you do not believe I am the one fit to lead it, do you? Your loyalty does not lie with my vision of Pandemonium, but Athena's. Master La Brea, whatever spurred the sudden accusation, I assure you there is a proper explanation. What, what are you doing, La Brea? Do not approach. Didn't he use that back when he was the Ascian? As I've already stated, even should I detect Athena's tinkering, I'm currently powerless to dispel it. And so I've come to a decision, one which is made with the best of interests of our star in mind. In order to build a better future, I require strength I have lost. I must embrace these odious memories. Mark well this sight, engrave it upon your soul. You now bear witness to the true La Habrea. I cannot imagine this was an easy choice, but it is done. Is she alive? Yes, and she shall remember this lesson well. Athena's puppet no longer, I see. She may yet harbor ill will towards me, but that is a risk I am willing to take. Our star requires a steady hand to guide it, and now mine is equal the task. I shall no longer allow Pandemonium to divert my focus. Hegemon, I would ask you serve me anew. There is none more suited to overseeing this position, none other would take such pride in their duty. My loyalty to Athena led me to betray you once before. Why would you allow me to keep my position as a key ward? I require your talents, as I require Hephaestios's. The past is of no consequence. Very well, in honor of our fallen colleagues, shall restore this institution to its former glory. Lahabraham is himself once more. He wields his authority without hesitation, and thinks not twice once his judgment sounded. Yet he is different from Athena. He only thinks of the betterment of the star. So long as duty guides his actions, he shall not share her fate. And should his convictions ever waver, the emissary shall set him back on his proper course. Good. If this is the path he chooses to walk, then I shall walk with him. I shall allow our bond to fray no further. As his son, I will support him in the days ahead. I would not ask you to say the same, Kota. You and I stand on peaks separated by vast chasms. Our perspectives shall never align. Does he know? And I shall never give one way... and never shall one give way to the other, for such is our nature. With that in mind, let's consider any depths between us to be void. Before we leave here, mark well these words. My resolve shall weather loss unfathomable, yet yield before no obstacle. Walk your path with the same conviction. Does he know what's going to happen to him? If not for you, my long-slumbering demons may have gone unslain. I would never have been forced to reconsider my true nature. Yet, as I said, do not consider this an admission of debt. Now, I believe you have other places to be. Remain here any longer, and I may be inclined to place you in a cell next to one of the more recalcitrant? Recalcitrant? Having an obstinately uncooperative attitude towards authority or discipline. Alright, I get what he's saying. This day forward, I'll do what I can to aid my father. In this way, I shall forge my own future. Hephaestus and Lahabrea were one and the same when he was named as one of the convocation. This change poses no need for concern, as all should be. Yeah, it was pretty much assumed to be the case, but yeah, this pretty much confirms that Hephaestus is indeed his true name. Master Lahabrea saw through me long ago, but now my mind is unclouded by doubt. I shall not fail him again. Ah. Yeah, forces it down. There are no ether currents beyond this point. You can fly no further. I guess they don't want you flying around in here, around the ship and all that. Ah, you returned. I should like to hear what you've discovered, though I believe your friend has business with us first. Ah, there, Coda. While you were away, Themis brought me up to speed on what happened while I was being held prisoner. The story shone light upon any number of questions that were niggling at my conscience, namely, those concerning the ethereal signature emanating from Azizla. Doubtless it was the source was Athena, reaching out as far as she could from her prison, ever grasping for someone to take Thonios' place, grasping for the body his soul resided within. I wanted to ask, when you first found the crystal, we were unable to hear the memories stored within. Indeed, it was only after our research went underway I could hearken its whispers. See, contact with the crystal should have awakened those memories, but the set passage of time likely changed Erythonius' soul in subtle ways. Perhaps the ethereal resonance was a gradual process in this case. However, being attuned to Erythonios exposed you to Athena's voice as well. Doubtless the choice to venture forth to resist law was not your own. It was Athena's influence working through you. That does make sense, yeah. I do recall being strangely fixated on acting alone. I never would have encouraged such recklessness usually. Although usually the choice is not entirely my own, I'm still ashamed of my actions. Reflection is how we plant the seeds of growth, although we must not blame ourselves for events out of our control. That the voice in the crystal belonged to the person which your soul originated? Well, not the most brilliant researcher could come to that conclusion. Assurance means more than you know. Thank you. Now for one final matter, it concerns a very crystal whose discovery set this adventure in motion. Perhaps sparked by recent events, a new light began to shine from within the depths. From my experience, this may indicate that a new memory has floated to the surface, eager to be observed. For some time, the question of why La Habrea and Ericthonios would leave such a crystal behind in the first place lingered in the back of my mind. With his memories and such magical talents as are at my disposal, I believe I could make this final memory manifest. Shall we witness it together? Sounds good to me. I leave this memory to you, future of our star. In the final days to come, creation magics we have so relied upon will now hasten our downfall. But despair is not yet won out. La Habrea and others in the Convocation are working to stem the chaos which threatens to engulf our star. The plan requires great sacrifice. Elidibus Themis has already offered to give his life for our salvation. Yet there's another problem which must be dealt with, Pandemonium, wherein are confined our most vicious creations. Even should we survive the final days, it will take time to restore order. If Pandemonium cells were breached and their prisoners set upon the star, our hard-won peace would be obliterated in an instant. Someone must stay behind to ensure that never happens. With Themis and La Habreus otherwise occupied, that responsibility falls to me. That's why I must defy the directive of the Convocation. My soul will not be offered to manifest the will of the star, but consigned to eternal vigil. I know in doing so, the final days will take me. I may not live to see my duty upheld. That is why I've resolved to set this crystal adrift in the tides of the underworld, containing memories of Pandemonium for both my father and I, and shall bear this warning in the future, even if I cannot. Imbued with the crystal as magics that will attract it to my essence. Even should I journey through the underworld and be born, this message will reach me. Pandemonium will not be left unattended. If all else fails, perhaps another man like my dear friend will come along. One with an almost unnatural ability to pick up the scent of trouble. Where he is now, how many souls has he saved? How many beasts slain since we've met? It's hard to gauge when time travel's involved. Alongside my warning, this memory shall carry wish, Coda. We meet again. Now listen well, if anyone receives my message, you must come to Pandemonium. Please make haste. I repeat. Well, I guess that answers that last question. That dispels last of my doubts. Thank you for humoring me, and now we've come to this. It survived. Yes, the heart of Sabik. The tie that bound Athena's memories to my body, no doubt, when I gain my senses, I found in my person. Now it appears your efforts have left it bereft of memories, no trace remains of Athena. However, its power's aura sight yet remains, and it may prove to be a valuable trove of knowledge in the hands of the right researcher. I feel that fate has left it with me for a reason. I shall take my leave, but on behalf of my colleagues, nay, the entire star, thank you both for putting an end to Athena's wickedness. On one thing, that tool is dangerous, but on the other, it does have the genuine ability to help us out with research on it. So we finally have all the details. The truth behind La Habrea, the heart of Sabek, all of it.
I see. Then Hephaestus' story has been laid bare. As has the nature of our mysterious crystal. The questions which led us into Pandemonium are answered, and soon order shall be restored. I too can fade away, unburdened by regret. I could not have reached this point without you, friend. So many revelations. But there are more, if you would dig a little deeper. Elidibus's soul was plucked from the ethereal sea, and from it I was wrought. Surely you have a passing interest in what I remember, in what I feel.
Ah, so he does
You
remember.
deserve what answers I can provide. While my memories of Pandemonium are clear, all else is hazy at best. Perhaps Athena made me this way. Or perhaps it is the result of who or what I was before. Still, I can recall vague figures, scenes from my future and your past. At the Crystal Tower's peak, we clash. And later, from that self-same spire, I send you forth into our age, into Elpis.
Does remember just about everything. It's not clear.
Why do I decide on such a course? Formless as these images are, I cannot say. However, I can hazard a guess. Somewhere within my fragmented memories, I catch a glimpse of our journey into Pandemonium. A glimpse which shows not the path we took or the destination where it led us, yet by its very presence demands that you are required in Elpis. And even if that act is but one link in the chain of events which ends in Atheris' salvation, then this all has meaning. Our time together, every moment, is worthwhile, and I am unburdened by regret. That said, it is possible my motivations become something else entirely. That you would cross this vast expanse in the hopes of being reunited with your allies, a devotion that once would have baffled me. But after having been to the depths of that twisted prison and back, I think I can understand. Now, I have pulled back the curtain as far as I dare. The people of your age call this the Ethereal Sea, a name I quite enjoy, for it teems with life, each star a soul on its journey. And among these uncountable stars, it was yours that crossed my path. For that, I shall be forever grateful. I wish you well on your journey. A journey as long as your star is bright. A journey not bound by the confines of this world or any other.
Underwater.
How fascinating. The truths that dwell at the edge of sleep.
The ethereal sea isn't a literal sea.
The course of history is set by its victors. It is immutable, and yet, should this star continue upon its path, look, the light.
Welcome back, Coda. I hope you said farewell to Themis for me. Recent events have given me not only new focus for my research, but also insights into my own origins. Truly, it is a gift I could never hope to repay. As Lahabre said, I'm not Erchthonios, yet I bear a part of him inside me, and I shall do what I can to follow the traces he left behind in the present day. A spark has been struck in my mind. I'm ready to pursue my research with fervor, the likes of which I have not had since my youth. Doubtless I shall need you in the days and moods ahead. When that time comes, I only hope you'll once again lend your sound counsel. Till then, fare thee well. Awesome jam. The more I try to make sense of what happened, the more my mind ties itself in knots. It'll take weeks, dare I say months, to navigate the maze of questions. I may have to suggest or Claudin hire more assistants. Code, may I have a moment of your time? I'd very much like to hear of the battles you fought within Pandemonium that appeared in our age. While I was fortunate enough to witness most of the events with my own eyes, I was nowhere to write down a blow-by-blow account. Just wanted to be a welcome and fruitful addition to my records. Your foes would be even more fantastic than ones we faced in the past. Truly, not even my wildest imaginings could come close to what reality gave us. Particularly fascinated by Athena, I can't help but wonder what she would have become if left to her devices. We were terribly close to finding out, and doubtless it would have been the last of the revelations of our lives. She may have gone, not have gone so far if not for the aura sight, magnifying her desires to almost incomprehensible degree. Just how it could influence one is a matter well beyond the kin of modern scholarship. I believe you saw how twisted those under its sway become when you have faced Lucavi. Just what does is it Ultima, the High Seraph, have in bestowing the gift of Arcite these poor souls? If Athena achieved her dream of godhood, she could very well have been able to be, or even Orsight to her will. Soon the world will have followed suit. What a chilling end to the story, a fascinating theory to add to the report. I must scour documents for any supporting evidence. Now I understand why you sent Rosano to fetch any scrap of information containing hints of crystalline machinations. Professor Claudian! I had noticed the important task of or being left neglected, and when I inquired the reason, poor Rosano explained he could barely keep up with your requests. Something must be done about this new obsession of yours. You must pursue it until you find answers you seek. I believe you're on your way to discover what shall make you the envy of peers, myself included. We often find breakthroughs only after shattering the rules of conventional research. You'll take Rustano's task. I shall tend Rustano's tasks, but you must promise me the report will be a thing of wonder. Of course, Professor, you have my word. I shall give every scenario fair shake. Where evidence is lacking, imagination shall fill the gaps. I shall blend the lines of fantasy and science so skillful you'll doubt if we were even there at all. I'm not sure that's a good way to be doing things, but whatever. I'd expect no less from one of my assistants. Before you put pen to parchment, I'd be honored if you shared some of your idle musings with me. I will, Professor, I will. If you have any interest, Coda, and I know you do, stop any time and I'll share you. Get my most recent theories. Might be good to get a repair job real quick before I head on out. About 3 hours. Alright, I guess that wasn't too bad. I even unlocked Savage, so I guess now will be a good time to call the stream. Oh yeah, the Laportes aren't going to be maxed out anytime soon. Alright, so for now, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Okay, well, until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later. See you next time. See you next time.